Cuzzo, what it do? Happy Friday the 13th. This is one of my favorite days of the year. I usually go at the beginning of the year and count how many Friday the 13th that we'll have in a year. I think we only had two this year, and I think this may be the last one. But 13 is a magical number. They put so much negative energy on it because of how much power 13 actually holds. If you follow me on IG, you'll see that I made a post a couple of minutes ago where I go into a little bit of the history of the number of 13 and how it's 12 zodiac signs. And if you know anything about astrology and you look at the astrological wheel, it is a circle. And yes, there are 12 signs, but the only way it can be activated is if you activate it. The only way that you can conquer a lesson is if you go through the lesson. The same is true with people saying, "Oh, I don't have Aries in my chart," or "I don't have Cancer in my chart." All of us have everything in our chart because it takes 12 in us to activate. There are 12 months. It's us going through the months, 13, that makes the months matter. Yes, nature is going to do what it's going to do, but your life is severely impacted upon what you do each month in the 12-month cycle. Jesus, whether you believe in him or not, I do not, but I am a hood historian. So I've done enough studying about the energy and the person to say Jesus had 12 disciples, making him the 13th power. And him being the 13th power activated those 12 disciples for a moment in time to the point where they were able to do things they had never done before. Some of them left their jobs behind to follow him and become the energy that he was putting forth. So follow me on Patreon. I always get into numerology, numbers, and gematria. We talk about gematria a lot. In this last year, we have not, because for 3 years we went in on it every day. So I've created 2 ebooks about gematria, Hood Matria 1 and 2. They are a wealth of knowledge. It will help you to understand if you see numbers or hear numbers and then these headlines, like the things that are happening in the headlines. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. And the same is true with when they're trying to tell you you don't want to do something or you don't want to participate in something or the number 13 is bad. You should go and do further research to figure out why. But anyway, that's not what we're here for today. We are here today to talk about the Pisces lunar full moon eclipse that's happening in like 5 days. Dun, dun, dun. Not really. Don't let it be that. I mean, eclipses are very monumental. They are very transformative. You will not be the same when you end this eclipse as you were when you came into this eclipse, but that's the whole point. Eclipses do not come to play small. They don't come to play a game with you. They don't come to let you shrink yourself. My nose is itching. This is confirmation. They don't allow you to avoid what needs to be transformed. You have to go through it. You can feel the eclipse effects for 3 weeks. Before, 6 weeks residually, 6 months, even more residually, up to a year. And then depending upon where it is hitting you in your chart, it can be for a lifetime. If you followed me for any amount of time and gone through any eclipse season with me, you've already heard my story and how transformative every eclipse has been since I started paying attention to eclipses. So do yourself a favor and either book an eclipse reading with me right now. They're currently $10 off. So $44.44. Get in where you fit in. We're going to cover every house that the eclipse may be affecting, because when it affects a sign, it also affects the house of that sign. So we'll get into that. Then I'll pull some energy for you and we'll just be prepared. Like Scar, but not on some negative shit. We're going to be prepared to conquer the territory that is in front of us. Pisces lunar full moon eclipse is occurring on September 17th at 25 degrees. The 25th degree is the Aries degree. Some astrologers are saying it's the 26th degree, which would make it the Taurus degree. Either way, it's time to use your head and use your physical dexterity to gain momentum to get through whatever situation you're in. Because eclipses will almost always violently, for lack of a better word, push you across the intersection so that you do not get hit by oncoming traffic, but that you also get to the next destination, because that's what needs to happen. This is the first Pisces lunar full moon eclipse since 2016. And prior to that, the last one was in 2006. Stop right now. And how much of a 180 has your life done? Y'all, when I was preparing for this eclipse, when I was doing all of my notes for this eclipse, I was shell-shocked at, there was a life event that happened to me the day of the Pisces lunar full moon eclipse in 2016. That at the time I thought it was detrimental. At the time it was devastating. At the time I thought I was going to lose myself before I ever found myself again. And to a portion, I did. I had to leave the illusions and the delusions behind that I had been holding on to for years prior to that in order to move on. Full circle moment, 8 years later, and how different life is, how my mental life is, how not only did I go through what I was going through, but I also was able to build my brand off of my pain. Like Fab says, I popped champagne because I became a champ from pain, you know, and it's like, that's a celebration because there was a time when I didn't think I was going to live through this. So y'all stop right now and think about who you were, what were you going through in 2016, 2006. Oh my gosh. My hair was so raggedy. I wish that I knew how to like put a video in and like then put a picture and then put the picture up so y'all can see. I don't know how to do that. Maybe one of my cousins will help me. But my hair was so raggedy. I was raggedy. I was just trying to figure out my life. I was in school. It was a mess. It was a mess. Full circle moments. Lots of full circle moments that are happening. Full moons are always the end or revealing of the end of a story. They can be revealing because you did not know that this was, it's like you thought it was the butler the whole time and it ends up being the maid. Dun, dun, dun. Pisces paired with the moon compounds that energy because you've been convincing yourself thus far, especially depending on where your Pisces placement is. You've been convincing yourself thus far that this is okay, that this is normal, that this is the only strategy. And what's occurring, one, since Saturn moved into Pisces last March. That's one. Because Saturn is laying hammers. Saturn was like, that ain't even what we signed up for. Then it's paired with the eclipse. The eclipse is coming and kind of capsizing your boat to show you that that was never it. And let's remove your rose-colored glasses so that you can see it. So what a full moon already naturally does, Pisces paired with that energy, eclipse paired with that energy is like monumental. It is next level. It is the stuff that they write about in books and stories, but it's very real and it's very much your life. Y'all already know I'm checking my notes so I don't forget anything. There are important things I needed to let you guys know. Planes do not let you fly if you have too much weight, if you are carrying too much baggage. The Pisces full moon lunar eclipse is the same energy. Let go of the things that weigh you down if you are ever going to fly to new heights. You cannot hold on to old memories. You can't hold on to old people. You can't hold on to old energies. And maybe if you do hold on to the old ones, it needs to be a point of motivation. It needs to be a point of inspiration, not a point of stagnation, not a trigger point where you get stuck like a deer in headlights and you can't move and you're almost crippled by the idea of whatever has transpired. You want to use your memory as the portal that it can be. I'm talking about that live on IG today. So hopefully by the time you see this video, it will either be going on or it will be accessible by recording. But using your memory as a portal is the most powerful thing that you can do. But also on the other end, if you're not fine-tuning the memories that you're jumping through as a portal, then it may not work out the best for you. This transit is going to help you understand the fine details of your value. Saturn loves Pisces, and he loves Pisces so much that he be damned if somebody play in Pisces face. That's why certain points of your life, wherever your Pisces transit is, I still am offering Saturn retrograde readings on my Etsy shop. Certain areas of your life have taken such a dominant change. Friend groups have changed. The way you think, the way you pray, the way you love, the way you believe, everything is different now. And that's because Saturn came in like, nah, that other stuff was shrinking you, my dude. Let's stop that. Let's stop that. Let's move on to something else. I can't believe I got on here with dry lips. My bad. Allergies beating me up. So Saturn has already been very much so making that movement prominent. Then the eclipse is coming in with the same kind of energy of like, did you not get it? Let me shake your face. Let me wake you up. Because this is a turning point. And if you think that we're going to get to the other side of the portal and you're holding on to this person, this place, this thing, this ideology, this identity, then you're not going to get there. The title of this is The Secret's Out. Because like I said, full moons always reveal. And Pisces has to be revealed. Pisces is almost always pictured as a shark and as two fish. The ancient representation of Pisces is the shark and the fish, because Pisces has to know when to hold and when to fold, and sometimes they can just swirl around in that circle and never switch gears, or become too comfortable with the gear that they're in and they'll just never switch. It takes cosmic storms to come in and profoundly change everything, the environment, the reality, harsh reality checks under this transit, in order for there to be deep change. What I was saying earlier about how Saturn loves Pisces, wherever Pisces been getting played, if Pisces doesn't have a backbone, and unfortunately sometimes Pisces will just kind of play small. They'll just play small because it's convenient, and it's convenient for everybody else for them to play small. Saturn is like, nah, activate that backbone. Let's show them what you're made of. Go for the gold. There may have been a number of you that have been experiencing spiritual crisis since last March when Saturn went into Pisces. That is, again, because if you've been falsely following a narrative, or if you have been, I have to follow my tradition, the tradition of my parents, the tradition of, if you've been doing anything outside of your life purpose, because that's what this life is about, your life purpose, not the life purpose of the people that came before you. Yes, you want to relish in the energy of your ancestors, and you want to utilize their resource when you can, but you do not want to rest on their laurels. You don't want to just stop there. You want to go harder. You want to go bigger. You want to go better, and know that their energetic support is going to help you get there. So if you've been going through a spiritual crisis over the last year and a half, now may be the time where you're like, oh no, I get it. I understand what I believe in. I believe in this and that. I'm non-denominational because I believe in the power of Ganesha and in the power of Jesus. And that's how you know you're doing it right, and you don't let anybody tell you that you are doing it wrong. We are leaving the Piscean age. The Piscean age is, I believe that this is true, with no other evidence. Prior to the Nicaea conference, nobody had ever seen a nigga named Jesus. And the image that is shown of the man is Caesar Borgia, one of them priest sons. They said, oh, we could use my son as the template. What? Somebody use me as the template for the next one. Use me. I'm El Shaddai. The fuck? Like, wasn't even a real entity. Wasn't even a real energy. So you have to liberate yourself and allow yourself to come full circle moment. And you probably already have in the last year. And this is the time where you're like, I get it now. I get it now. I can believe in all things. All of these things activate me. All of these things support me. Or you're realizing what you cannot dabble in. What has failed you drastically. What has not supported you in any matter or any way. And that is a sense of empowerment and a sense of becoming that you've been seeking and searching for quite a while. If this Saturn in Pisces transit has been difficult for you, first of all, my heart goes out to you. For real. Like, for real. But I then have to pull big cousin, and I know that some of y'all, I'm probably not big cousin, I might be medium cousin or middle-aged cousin, or you might be a little older than me. I know. But I still got to pull big cousin energy when I say this Saturn and Pisces transit shouldn't be that much harder for you as we move more into it. It doesn't move out of the transit until 2026. So it shouldn't be that difficult for you if you've learned. Stop being hard-headed. Stop thinking that you're going to fight against universal shifting. Stop asking God to change your environment and change your life, but in the same breath, thinking you're not going to be changed. That's not possible. Stop doing your rituals and praying to the east and all of that if you're not ready to sacrifice the old you. The old you has to die in order for there to be a transcendence. So, this Pisces full moon lunar eclipse, lunar eclipses are always more introspective. So the world is going through the same thing, but everybody's really turned in about it. You know, you might talk about it with your closest friends, but everybody's going to be going through it emotionally. So don't take nothing personal, and don't expect for people to be checking in on you when they're really just trying to keep their own head above the water that's now being weighed down by two heavy planets, or two heavy transits rather. Solar eclipses, which is the next one, Libra, October 4th. I will have a whole nother video for that. That one will be more collective. That one we will all feel. That's the one we all need to really pay attention to what's going on and leave early and drive slow and treat it like a true retrograde season, even though we still have some planets retrograde and it's really just an eclipse season. You want to be as cautious as you can. Not afraid, not scary. Cautious. Be prepared. Be aware. All of those things are utilizing your gift of Solomon, discernment, that is naturally given to all of us in the 12 signs. Anyway, your intuition likely will be heightened. Your dreams are going to be crazy. So if you need to feel like you need to keep a dream journal, then go ahead and do that. Because things are taking a turn. And again, whatever you've been avoiding, that's why I love eclipses. You can avoid it. You can say, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. And the eclipse is like, what I said? What I say do? It's getting done. You don't have a word edgewise. And, for people who may be religious, slightly religious listening to this, that's God's energy. God, Eclipse has been around since the beginning of time. So, this is God action. And truth be told, life has not been the same since the eclipse in April. But we're not going to talk about that because that's not what we're here to talk about today. Well, I wonder what's going to happen under this lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. Pisces is the endless possibilities and potential, which is ultimately our fabric of life. The fabric of our lives. I think that's the cotton commercial from the 90s. But Pisces, modern ruled by Neptune, is the illusion, the delusion. It's really kind of the unknown too. It's the ocean. It's the depthness of the water. We only know what lives on one level of the ocean, not all the way at the bottom. So it's that uncertainty. But during the uncertainty of the endless possibilities that Pisces presents, that is when the magic happens. That is when you can get into gear. That's when you can be in position. That's when you can hear, because now you're kind of vulnerable and you're in not necessarily survival mode, but you are in foreign territory. So you are treating it a lot more delicately than you would any other journey or transit. So that is the bulk of what will be happening through the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse. Again, the readings are available, link in my bio. This reading is going to play into the Patreon reading, where we're going to talk about karmic release, forgiveness, lunar eclipses, and how they are a part of the personal journey. That nigga Jesus again. And the real second coming, Venus in Libra, and how that is being put on a pedestal as we prepare for the Libra new moon solar eclipse in just a couple of weeks. So again, this is the time where if you haven't done your manifestations, what's today? If I were you, I'd get it done by 9/14. And maybe life has already shown you what you need to do in order for you to have what it is you're trying to have. Because remember, faith without works is dead. And the same is true with manifestation. I love law of attraction. I love manifestation. I love setting intentions, all of that. And Pisces are the sign that can set an intention and do minimal work and it will still pay off. Not everybody has that. Sun, moon, rising, likely North Node too. Minimal work, great manifestations because of the power of the mind and how connected to the ethereal they are. Those thoughts go out, those frequencies go out, and they're literally like magnetic claws that pull it back into their life and their experience. So it can definitely happen, but it is not in attracting and attaining the manifestation. It is the maintaining of the manifestation that we're trying to get into. So I'm going to pull just a couple of cards to get this Patreon reading started. And I hope to see all of you YouTube babies on the other side. Follow me on IG. There's only one IG. My IG is Jody Morgendorfer. Like from Daria. And I know that Jody, I don't really know what Jody's last name was. I remember when I was trying to pick my name, I looked it up, but I didn't like it. I didn't like whatever her last name was. So I Morgendorfed her so that she could be associated off tops with Daria, and only real ones would understand. So I'm Jody Morgendorfer on Instagram, but everything else is Trap House with 2 S's. So I also am relaunching my email list. So if you would like to be included on that, there will be exclusive activities, for lack of a better word, downloads, offers, discounts, all of that jazz. So let's see what the first energies of the reading are going to be for Patreon. Your dreams need a practical plan. What did I just say? Your dreams need a practical plan. You're not going to get to the other side by shul bitten. You are going to have to actually do some work. And sometimes, no, let me correct that. Most of the time, the work is done internally. Excessive movement does not trump intentional focus. So maybe you need to refocus, reorganize some things, get some things out of the way so that you know what it is that you're actually working with. This is actually the full moon in Taurus card that's here. But I said at the beginning of the reading that some astrologers are saying that it's a 26 degree, which would be a Taurus degree. Either way, you got to use your head. Use your horns to get through the bullshit. Be headstrong. Bulls don't move a lot, but when they move, they are dominant. They move a lot of weight, and they go a far distance, and then they rest for a long time. You might have to roll your sleeves up just for a little bit. 2 on the timer, as I said that. You might have to roll your sleeves up in order for you to get to the other part of the journey, but do it now so that you're not having to suffer and struggle later. A fiery climax approaches. It's the full moon in Aries. So what did I say? Pisces, full moon, lunar eclipse, 25 degrees is how I'm calling it, which is the Aries degree. Set fire to the things that no longer serve you. Let those bridges be lanterns on your journey to the other side. I would say that under this transition, you don't have to worry about, oh, I hope I'm not going to hurt their feelings, or I hope I won't need them one day. We're past that. If the eclipse is allowing that bridge to get burned up, y'all are past that. So let's go on to the other side. Let's move on. Let's evolve. So I'll see you guys on Patreon. Let's get into it. So karmic release is what's one of the main themes that are happening under this full moon lunar eclipse. Karmic release that's attached directly to forgiveness and completion through forgiveness. I mentioned earlier in this recording that I am coming full circle